held the prologue to the tale, and the tale further characterized the pilgrim. The Wife of Bath's tale is all about how women/wives should have control and dominance over her husband in the prologue to the tale. The Wife of Bath tells of how she has had 5 husbands. She describes 3 as being good and 2 as being bad. The first 3 were good and rich and old. They were scarcely able to keep the statute by which they were bound to me. You know quite well what I mean by this. By heaven, so help me God, I laugh when I think how pitiful I made them work at night, and by faith I set no store by it. They had given me their land and their treasure. I no longer needed to be diligent to win their love, or show them reverence. They loved me do well, by God above, that I didn't prize their love. Page 305, lines 197 to 208. The other husband she describes was a younger man, so it was more difficult to gain control over him. One night he was reading a book to her about how wives are always wrong. In her anger, this is what she did. And when I saw he would never stop reading this cursed book all night, suddenly I plucked 3 leaves out of his book right as he was reading, and also I hit him on the cheek with my fist, so that he fell into our fire backward. He started up like a raging lion and hit me on the head with his fist, so that I lay on the floor as if I were dead. And when he saw how still I lay, he was aghast and would have fled away until at last I awoke from my swoon. He came near and kneeled down gently and said, "Dear Sister Alison, so help me God, I shall never hit you again. What I have done you are to blame for yourself. Forgive me for it, I beseech you." He gave the bridle completely into my hand to have control of house and land, and also of his tongue and hand. I made him burn this book right then. Pages 333 to 335, lines 787 to 816. The Wife of Bath's tale is about a knight who rapes a woman and is condemned to death, but due to the queen's sympathetic nature, the knight is granted his life only if he is able to discover what it is a woman most desires. He goes on a journey for 101 days to try and accomplish his task. After asking many women who gave him all different answers, he finds he believes he'll never complete his task, until one day in the forest he comes along an ugly hag that tells him what a woman most desires is. He brings this to the queen and her audience. They all agree what the knight has said. "My liege lady," he said, "generally women desire to have domination over their husbands as well as their lovers, and to be above them in mastery. This is your greatest desire." Page 347, lines 181 to 185. The Wife of Bath's opinion of having control over her husband is greater reinforced by her tale of the night. All in all, the Wife of Bath is a wonderfully varied, funny, garrulous, abrasive, pushy, honest, dishonest, hateful, lovable, and contradictory woman who knows how to yield flower-like to get what she wants from men, but also how to stand up for them, bulldozer-like, when she needs it. Page 283. The Wife of Bath's prologue is more important than her tale for many reasons. Her prologue is a confession of all the techniques through which she gained control and supremacy over her 5 husbands. She's a parody of the conventional oppressed wife. The Wife of Bath may be seen as one of the earliest feminist characters. She explains that sexual organs are designed to be used, and they are fruits in a marriage. The Wife of Bath is blunt enough to confess that she married her first 3 husbands for their wealth, and all of them died. Well, it's hinted that they died while performing sexual pleasures on her. She believes that men owe their wives and they should pay them back in sex. She does not envy virginity. She understands that if everyone was a virgin, there would be no children and human population would die. She has power over her men for their whole lives, and she mentions this often. The Wife of Bath argues in favor of marriage. In the Middle Ages, virginity was highly prized and marriage was seen as an inferior state. The Wife of Bath uses scripture to prove her point. She points out that the scriptures do not officially condemn marriage more than once, and cites instances of great men who took more than one wife. She cannot understand Christ's rebuff to the women at the well, who had also married 5 times, and rather prefers the biblical command to increase and multiply. Virginity was only an ideal to be aimed at by a select few who wanted to become perfect Christians. Besides, she agrees if everyone were to maintain celibate, then there would be no more virgins. Everybody would be a virgin.
Thank you for being here.
The wife of Bath mentions God often, and she explains that true nobility is not about rank or status, but comes from God. In her tale, she describes a love story, and she mentions that love does not have any barriers. Age really does not matter when people have feelings. She believes that we should be happy and appreciate everything we have. Wife of Bath presents a strong case for the liberation of women, refuses to stereotype that women ought to be meek and submissive, and asserts that she would never refuse to have sex with their husband if they wish to do so. Yeah, he's gotta die. You can't go around raping people.
No, please give him another chance. I know he's a good knight.
Okay, do whatever you want.
Okay, I'll go talk. My husband has granted that I decide what I do with you. You must tell me what a woman most desires, or you will be put to death. If you can't tell me now, you have to go on a journey for a year and a day to figure it out. And if you can't by then, you'll be killed. Leave me now. Go.
And so, the knight went on a quest for a year and a day. He searched high and low, but no matter how he searched, he could not find the answer. Did women want amusement? Some say it was rich apparel. Perhaps it was honor. Maybe it was freedom. Or maybe he was skillful in bed. What if it was riches? Or flattery? What do they want?
Look at all these beautiful women. Oh! There's no trail here. What brings you here?
I'm on a quest.
For what?
Just try to figure out what a woman wants most.
I may tell you the answer of what a woman desires, as long as you repay me.
Alright.
We promise.
Okay. Queen! I figured out what it is a woman wants most.
What is it?
Dominance over her husband or her lover.
Do you agree?
Yes!
I told him that! You must repay me now and be my husband! And so they were married, not to the knight's pleasure, and had to move into a home together. Hey, baby. Knight, why are you so distant?
You're so old and ugly and just... I said it.
You are worth nothing! True gentility doesn't disappear when an audience does. I am happy with my life. I may not be beautiful, but I have lived. But since I have married you, you have two options. I can be ugly and old, but faithful, or I can be young and hot, but not necessarily faithful. You can choose. You can choose. Since you let me choose, I shall be both! Now I have dominance over you.
You're beautiful.
And they lived happily ever after for the rest of their lives.